Harry got expelled. US Parliament approves Harry's expulsion from US following failure of court case. Prince Harry, the former royal who left the UK for the US with his wife Meghan Markle, after a bombshell interview with Oprah Winfrey, is facing a serious threat. He could be deported from the US after a court ordered the release of his immigration records, which could reveal that he lied about his drug use in his visa application. Harry team, in a desperate attempt to save him from being expelled from the country, has confessed that Harry lied in his memoir Spare, in which he admitted to using cocaine, marijuana and psychedelic mushrooms. Harry's deportation drama, which has been making headlines and sparking outrage, began when a conservative think tank, the Heritage Foundation, filed a lawsuit against the Department of Homeland Security demanding to see Harry's immigration records to verify whether he disclosed his drug use in his visa application. The think tank argued that Harry's drug use, which he revealed in his memoir, Spare, could make him ineligible for a US visa and that he should be deported if he later omitted this information. The case was heard by a federal judge in New York who ruled in favor of the think tank and ordered the DHS to release Harry's immigration records or to expedite a Freedom of Information Act request. The judge said that Harry's immigration records were of public interest and that there was a possibility that Harry had violated the immigration law and received preferential treatment because of his royal status. The DHS, which had tried to block the request, citing privacy concerns, appealed the judge's decision but was unsuccessful as the higher courts upheld the ruling. The DHS then had no choice but to comply with the order and to hand over Harry's immigration records to the think tank in the court. Harry's immigration records, which were made public last week, showed that Harry had indeed lied about his drug use in his visa application. Harry had ticked the no box when asked if he had ever used or been addicted to any illegal drugs. Despite his confession in his memoir, Spare, that he had repeatedly used drugs as a teenager in the UK and as an adult, Harry had also failed to mention his drug use in his interviews with the immigration officers who had granted him a visa based on his answers and his documents. Harry's lie, which was exposed by his immigration records, could have serious consequences for him, as it could lead to the revocation of his visa and his deportation from the US. According to the US immigration law, lying or omitting material facts in a visa application is a ground for inadmissibility and removal. Harry could also face criminal charges and penalties for fraud and perjury. Harry's team, who were aware of the gravity of the situation, decided to take a drastic and risky step. They admitted that Harry lied in his memoir, Spare, and that he had never used drugs in his life. They claimed that Harry had fabricated his drug use in his memoir to make his story more dramatic and appealing and to boost his book sales and his media rights. They said that Harry had regretted his lie and that he had apologized to his family and his fans for misleading them. Harry's team hoped that by admitting that Harry lied in his memoir, they could save him from being deported, as they could argue that he did not lie in his visa application and that he was still eligible for a EU visa. They also hoped that they could salvage Harry's reputation and credibility, and that they convince the public and the media that Harry was not a drug user but a victim of his own ambition and creativity. However, Harry's team's admission backfired, as it did not help Harry's case but rather worsened it. The judge who reviewed Harry's immigration records in his memoir said that Harry's admission was not credible and that it was a desperate and pathetic attempt to avoid deportation. The judge said that Harry's memoir was not a fiction but a memoir and that it was supposed to be based on facts and truth. The judge said that Harry's admission was an insult to the court and the public and that it showed that Harry was a liar in the fraud. The judge then ruled that Harry had violated the immigration law and that he should be deported from the US. The judge also ordered Harry to pay damages and legal fees to the think tank and to issue a public apology. In the retraction, the judge said that Harry had abused his royal privilege and his visa status and that he had harmed his country, his family, and that he had harmed